The world of nature is filled with creepy crawlies, and creepy crawlies come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They are detested and reviled by some, loved and cherished by others. Few creepy crawlies, however, are as polarizing as today's creature, the tarantula.
Hi, I'm Miguel Caldera, and this is a western desert tarantula, also known as the Arizona blonde tarantula. It's an arachnid, boasting an exoskeleton and 8 powerful legs. Now, these invertebrates will eat pretty much anything they can overpower. When they're young, they'll eat insects, grubs, other arthropods. As they begin to grow a little bit larger, they can eat lizards, small snakes, and some relatives of the tarantula at their full-grown size can even eat birds. That's pretty amazing because they're so small, but this one's not quite full grown. It still has a little growing to do. It'll be about the size of my palm once it's full grown, and it's not the largest of its species. This is just the western desert tarantula. The Goliath bird tarantula gets much larger, about the size of a dinner plate. Those are the ones that can eat birds. But man, just look how beautiful the coloration is of this female. Beautiful blonde cephalothorax, blonde on her legs, this reddish blonde on her abdomen. Just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful creature. Now I want to talk about that term I just used, cephalothorax. Come on, sweetheart. Here we are. As you can see, they only have 2 body parts. They have the cephalothorax, which all that means is head, thorax. Cut your neck off and stick your head to your chest, you'd have a cephalothorax too. Then they have this abdomen, which is covered with all these beautifully colored reddish orange hairs, which they can use as a defense. If I was a coyote or a badger and I came and I was breathing on this animal, it would stick its abdomen in the air, and using these back legs, it would kick off all those little urticating hairs, which are barbed, and they'll be breathed in or aspirated by the animal, getting into their eyes, getting into their nose, causing severe irritation. What that does is it causes the eyes to water profusely, trying to get those little barbed hairs out. Causes the nose to run extremely bad, again, trying to get those urticating hairs out. And what it does is it gives the spider a small window of opportunity to get away.
They do not use this defense against their most notorious predator, the tarantula hawk, as it would be useless. The tarantula hawk predates upon them, not to feed themselves, but to incubate and feed their young.
Now, tarantulas are found all over the world. Here in the deserts of the United States, you can find them in the jungles of South America and everywhere in between. Now, one thing that's kind of amazing about these little creatures is that they can live for up to 25 years. Now, for an invertebrate, that's a very long lifespan.
Indigenous tribes once collected these creatures to be used medicinally for curing heart disease and respiratory ailments. Today they are collected for use in the pet trade for their beauty.
I want you to count with me now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the 8 legs of this spider. So you might be wondering, well, what are those 2 leg-like appendages in the very front? Well, they're not legs. What they're called is pedipalps. And if you remember from our arachnophilia episode with the beautiful green chelicerae jumping spider, and it kept drumming on the ground with those chelicerae, I mean not with the chelicerae, with the pedipalps. These are also pedipalps, and they do the exact same thing. They sense the chemical trails left on the ground by all animals very similarly to the way a snake will flick its tongue and bring it back in, and it receives information about the world around it. These spiders do the same thing. And she's standing here real still now. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you have 9, 10. Those are not legs. Those are pedipalps. They sense the world around them. And on males, that front end, I'll just show you the back legs here. See how the back legs just have the same diameter all the way through? The pedipalps look just like that on the end. If it was a male, the pedipalps will have a swollen tip on the end of its pedipalps, and it uses those to pass sperm packets to the female. Now, tarantulas are ectotherms, and all that means is that they rely on an outside source of heat for their body. When we get cold, our muscles begin to shiver and we generate our own heat. They can't do that. When the sun begins to come up, it provides warmth for them. That's how they get energy to move around. Should they get too hot, they have to find a place in the shade, underground, which is where they live, and that's how they regulate their temperature. Now, she's in a perfect position right now, and there's these 2 little finger-like appendages at the back of her abdomen, and those are her spinnerets. And these spiders will dig burrows into the ground about 1 to 2 inches in diameter, and using these spinnerets, they will line their burrow with silk so that it does 2 things. 1, it's not going to be an abrasive burrow that they're living in, and 2, it helps to regulate the temperature of the ground. All spiders have the capability of laying silk. They also use this silk for reproductive purposes. They will put their eggs in a sack of silk, which protects from the elements, regulates the temperature, and makes it portable. Now, you might be asking yourself, or screaming at the screen, what are you doing? Those things are huge. Aren't they venomous? And the answer is yes, that they are. And they inject their venom with 2 massive fangs. The thing is that the venom that these spiders inject is not very toxic to humans, so I don't have anything to worry about. If I were a cricket or a beetle grub, yeah, I'd have something to worry about. But for the most part, when tarantulas interact with a human being, all they want to do is get away. And as you can see, crawling all over me, she has no desire to bite me. This isn't some horror movie where she wants to rip open my body and lay some eggs inside of me and have me be a host for her eggs. She just simply wants to get away. Look. Contented, hiding under my hand. I want to show you guys just how harmless these tarantulas are. I'm going to go ahead and pick her up. I'm going to let her crawl onto my face. Nice beard, right? Do that. You know the only thing I don't like about holding spiders, this size I should say, is how bad it tickles. Every single one of her legs has these two little spikes, and they grip into your skin, and it tickles incredibly. The Desert Blonde Tarantula, an amazing creature of the West. Until next time, I'm Miguel Caldera. Get out and enjoy your hunt for nature.
It is easy to fear that which we don't understand. But to bring understanding to that which we fear takes wisdom and courage. A king wrote, "There are 4 things which are little on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The spider skillfully grasps with its hands, and it is in kings' palaces." There is much understanding that we too can skillfully grasp, and it is in the palace of nature.